This video is a continuation of our eoStar General Ledger Setup series. We will be covering the setup of GL accounts, ledger sources, and exports. We'll start by taking a look at the GL accounts. You can find these under the GL drop-down menu and Accounts. The GL accounts are used to map the accounts in eoStar to your chart of accounts in your accounting package. In the External Account field, enter the account number from the ledger software to create the link between the eoStar account and the accounting package. Only accounts that will be debited or credited by journal entries coming from eoStar need to be set up. These accounts are typically balance sheet and profit and loss statement type accounts, such as inventory, cash, AR, etc. Next, we'll take a look at the GL sources, which can be found under GL Sources. GL sources represent the components of various transactions that create a journal entry from eoStar, which may then be sent across to your accounting package. As you can see here, there's a separate source for customer payments made in cash than there is for customer payments made by check. You do have to set both of these up, but if they both go to the same account in your GL, then they will be set up identically. The default rules for a general ledger source can be found in the center of the screen, and they indicate which accounts will most commonly be debited or credited. Exceptions to the default accounts can be set up in the GL Rules panel. Here you can specify which accounts to debit and credit if the combination of ledger groups listed on that line apply. We can turn on and off which GL groups we want to set specific accounts for using the Source Options checkboxes. So if we want to set different accounts for the warehouses, but we don't separate them based on the customer type, we can turn off the customer column and just enter the new accounts for the warehouses. Now let's take a look at the ledger and payable export formats. The format setup can be found in File, Database Administration, Configure, and on the Accounting Interface tab. To communicate with a particular accounting package, eoStar must be set up to export the general ledger and accounts payable information in the correct format. To be able to select your accounting system, you will need to have the appropriate plugin installed. You may also want to check the Unique File Name box, which allows eoStar to create a different file name for each GL export. However, there may be times that you want to use the same export name for each general ledger export. This might be due to the fact that you have a batch script that automatically imports your exports into the accounting package. The Keep Write-Off in Details box will export inventory write-off tickets at the line item level, as opposed to creating one lump sum for the entire ticket. eoStar currently supports Direct Connect for Dynamic Great Plains and QuickBooks. All other exports use a flat file to transfer data between eoStar and the accounting package. The setup for Direct Connect will be covered in a separate video. To set up the payables export, you must use an accrued payable account. eoStar Payable is set up based on the notion of accrual, since the inventory might hit the warehouse before the supplier bill is received. If you don't have one set up in your financial package, you must create one in order for this feature to work. Once an accrued payable account has been added, select the account number and add it to the accrued payable field. In some instances where the accounting system is set up to use 2 decimal places, there will be rounding discrepancies because eoStar's cost is calculated to 4 decimal places. If that is the case, you can elect to use the rounding account for discrepancies. Many customers just use the accrued payables account. Next, choose the appropriate payables export format. And finally, choose the appropriate export format for your ledger export, and click Post.